see if I got any good ones in the vault.
Oh no! I got the wrong name there. I have to do the name correctly. There we go. Gojira. All right. Welcome to Breakfast with BearHeart, or Breakfast with Gojira. And it is, I don't know, it's Thursday, the 13th of July, 2023. It is 11 a.m. here in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. And I don't know what time it is in Tokyo, but they're currently being consumed by a large monster. Hey, can I tell my joke? Can I tell my joke? You know what you get when you play the, you know what you get when you play the Godzilla movie backwards?
We don't know.
Well, yeah, because I told you guys this joke a minute ago. It's the story of a benevolent monster that rebuilds Tokyo and then moonwalks back into the ocean.
We love that version of Godzilla.
You got to do the a round of applause. All right. Yeah, so the big news today, I mean, there's a lot of interesting news. And if I have it here, I might start with some of the smaller stuff if I can find it here. Yeah, that's not really gonna cut it for a short conversation. So yeah, the big news is that the actors are going on strike. SAG-AFTRA, which is the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Film and Radio Actors, that union is voting this morning, and it's 99% sure they're going on strike. And that will completely shut down the film industry and the television industry, just completely. A few independent projects, under, like $50,000 budget or something. A few very, very small independent projects will be allowed to continue. But the major stars will not show up at San Diego Comic-Con. Which is, I believe, next week or the week after. I have tickets to the Star Trek convention in Vegas, and I'm predicting that that'll get canceled. If it doesn't get canceled, nobody's going to show up. It's any productions that are in progress, will be shut down, and the studios and the streamers are, all promotion will end. The union members will not be doing any promotion of existing projects or future projects. Everybody's just going to go walk the picket line. And
has anybody made a formal statement as to why? Is there something that you can look up and you're like, oh, that's why?
Well, the reasons are very, very clear, and there's been a lot of discussion of this. So the last time the Screen Actors Guild struck was in 1980. And interestingly, the last time before that was in 1960, and the president of the Screen Actors Guild was an actor named Ronald Reagan. But and then he was president in 1980.
Yeah, and then he ruined our country.
Yeah, well, he certainly killed a lot of gay people. And he created a lot of the economic crisis that exists today. He was a phenomenally horrible president. Although, most accounts would say that it was Nancy that was pulling the strings, and I think that's probably true. He was a figurehead, and Nancy was the power broker. So they're operating on a contract that was basically negotiated when there were three major networks on broadcast television. Cable was almost an afterthought. I mean, it existed, but barely. They called it pay TV, and it was, they predicted that it would never go anywhere. And so the way things stand today, the actors and the writers, same problems. They get nothing on any streaming revenue, on any cable revenue. I mean, basically they get nothing on any of this. And so, a lot of this came to the fore during the pandemic, when films were being released on streaming because the movie theaters were all closing. And many people believe that that's the future of even the film industry, that movie theaters, there will be fewer and fewer movie theaters. They may not ever completely go away, because a lot of us like to see, I want to see Oppenheimer. I want to see it on a big screen, in IMAX, and projected from film. That's what I want to see. And I don't even know if that exists here in Vegas. I may have to go to LA for that. Yeah. So the situation is super dire. Back when the contract was negotiated, your average TV show had, 26, 27 episodes per season. And today it's 10, right? And so people are not working as much. I mean, the production values and all of that, I mean, I love the 10 episode story arcs. I love the result of that. And when there were, 26, 27 episodes to a TV show, usually half of them were duds, right? Because it's hard to produce that much, quality product. So I'm in favor of all of that. But you got to pay your people. Any business, and I've talked about this before, my business would be shit without my amazing team. And you got to take care of your people. Otherwise, you're just going to turn out shit product. I mean, look what's going on at LinkedIn Learning. I don't like to bite the hand that feeds me, but the product has taken a dive. The product has taken a nosedive since they got bought out by Microsoft, and they're going for cheaper and cheaper content, and and it shows. The impact of this is going to be, like I said, San Diego Comic-Con is going to be desolate. The performers will not show up, and they're prohibited by the union from participating on any panels or anything like that.
Wow.
I don't know the impact of the. I imagine that the Star Trek convention that I'm scheduled to go to soon will not happen as well. Yeah, Kitty.
So before I hop off, I just want to ask if you've seen, there was something that came out yesterday about how one of the executives, I can't remember which one, but was quoted saying that they were just going to wait out the strike because eventually the writers would have to start paying their rent and their bills, and they just wait it out, and then they would take some like dog crap offer.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about that yesterday on the live stream, and I read the letter. Yeah.
Yeah, but the other thing too about that is that it's like now, because that was put out yesterday, everybody is coming forward and saying, no, this is just going to make us wait even longer in solidarity. Yeah. There's funds that are set up for these writers.
Right. And, and a lot of them, because of the circumstances around, that precipitated the strike, because of how poorly they're being paid and how poorly they're being taken care of, a lot of them, have gig work anyway. They drive Uber, or, they have a second job or whatever. I mean, yeah. A lot of them have that kind of stuff. A lot of them write novels and short stories and self-publish on Amazon and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's... they will wait it out, and the studios are going to have to cave, and they're going to have to give people some sort of they're going to have to come to the table and come up with a reasonable contract. And it may take a while, but hopefully what I hope, and I'm always hopeful, you know me, what I hope is that the adding the actors to the strike, it's been 3 months, it's been just the writers, and the studios have been able to say, okay, well, we've got all this stuff in process anyway, we can wait this out. But now that the actors, won't be doing, it's going to shut down production on everything, and they won't be able to do any promotion. And, this is going to really hurt the, the studios where it hurts.
Yeah.
So, so that's coming.
Yep. Well, I'm not looking forward to it, but I gotta hop off now. So bye, guys.
Right. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Here, I'll make you co-host again, or a regular host.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
That's a good plan. Huh? There you go. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. So my question is, when actors and writers start these projects, there's a contract involved. So like what are the potential repercussions of them breaking contract in order to do the strike, I guess, in order to strike?
Yeah. I don't know the details of this, but I know that labor law makes allowances for strikes. And I do have somebody I can ask and see if I can get a more detailed answer. There's a member of my family who used to be a member of the National Labor Relations Board, the NLRB, and I can ask them. They're a lawyer and a former judge, and so they would know this.
Because I'm sure there's extenuating circumstances such as this, but I mean, I feel like
I don't think you can compel a worker to cross a picket line. I think that's the bottom line.
I personally have never been in a situation like that, so I can't speak from any kind of experience or knowledge.
Well, I've never been a union member either. I've only been an employee a few brief moments in my life, so I don't have any direct experience in that either. Yeah. Pardon?
I said fleeting moments in your
fleeting
life
moments,
that you were an employee.
Yeah. Never for more than a year at a time. Rarely for more than a week at a time. I am a shitty employee.
But a great boss, so that's got to count for something.
So, there you go. I've found my calling.
There you have it. So my biggest question, I know we were kind of talking about this before the live, but my biggest question for the actors and the writers, even when the pieces that they create, the products that they create are specifically for a streaming service, how is that not wrapped in a big pretty bow that they get royalties when it's like a Netflix exclusive or a Hulu exclusive or an HBO exclusive? That doesn't make any sense to me. If you are writing for that company.
In order for the company to pay royalties, they would have to be transparent about their revenue streams. And they have so far refused to do that. They do not publish specific figures on revenue for specific projects. They barely.
Isn't that required by law?
No, what's required by law for a public corporation is that they report, overall earnings and, overall revenues, but they don't have to break it down by project. And, and therein lies a big piece of the problem, because they don't, the corporations, the streamers and the production companies, they do not want this level of transparency. It would show the world how much they're getting ripped off. By the way, is your wall peach?
Maybe.
It's very pretty.
Thank you. Like I said, it's a long way to go, and I've lost a lot of steam, especially with this house being as old as it is. Like, I go to do one project and then get stopped by 3 or 4 other projects, and then everything with the
You
with
know,
work and I'm just busy. So
yeah.
was really excited to do like a reveal here in the very near future, but it might be a while. So you get the blur for now and just let your imagination wander.
Yeah. So this house, and you've been to my house. This house is 40 years old, and it was a lot of work when I moved in. So I totally get that.
So
You
imagine
know,
that times three. That's where I'm
yeah. I
sitting at
mean,
right about now.
yeah. I went to redo the bathroom upstairs and found that the old tub had leaked through the ceiling into this room, and
Oh
I mean, it was
no.
like it's like everything. Um, okay, yeah, I'm not sure that that's going to work. Um, I'm going to just on our live here. I will make a note. Kirsten, find out when Ricky's available, and let's do the staff meeting all together.
Okay.
All right, because I don't even know if I'm going to be here when she gets here later.
Okay.
I have a nap in my near future, and then I have a meeting with somebody outside the house a little later.
Okay.
So
Making it happen, Captain.
yeah, let's just do it as soon as we can. All
Okay.
right. Any more interesting questions about the strike?
Well, I was going to ask this earlier, but then the question got answered. I was like, I'm assuming the writers are still on strike. So
Yeah.
now it's the writers and the actors. What about the people that don't want to strike? What about the people that are like, hey, I'm okay with this
Those
not
are called
getting.
scabs, and it's a pejorative term. And they are they will a few of them will be very very determined about being assholes. There's a word for it, but me on Thursdays I don't have words, and so but there will be a very few of them, but they won't have any projects to work on because the rest of the project will be shut down. And there was some controversy. The TV show Jeopardy has two hosts currently, Mayim Bialik and the former Jeopardy champion guy,
Just leave it
Ken
at that.
Jennings. Ken
Oh,
Jennings.
the
And
former champion Jeopardy guy. So
yeah.
TFJG.
I like that. You're making acronyms.
Or I guess just FJG for a TLA.
Yeah, there you go. The So the last week of production on Jeopardy, which I will never get to see because my DirecTV stopped carrying my local channel because of a contract dispute. Um, but
The
that last
audacity.
week, the last week of Jeopardy, Mayim Bialik was scheduled to be the host, and she walked. She joined the strike. She's not a member of the writers union, but in solidarity, a lot of actors walked, and she refused to cross the picket line because Jeopardy has writers as well. And but Ken Jennings, who is not a member of any union, he took over that last week, and a lot of people were very, very upset with him over that. Because he effectively crossed a picket line. So there are people who do that. And in some circumstances, they will find work doing that. But mostly it's very much frowned upon. They have to work with the other actors. And, there's a lot of pressure for them to not do that. Unions are a very interesting and necessary thing. The companies that employ people have every incentive to take advantage of those people as much as possible, make them work more and pay them less, because that impacts the bottom line, and they have a fiduciary responsibility to maximize shareholder value. Remember my term for for a corporation is an organism that eats money and shits products and services. And so its biological imperative is to take in more money all the time. And so it does this partly by taking advantage of workers. And again, you got to watch I'm a Virgo, because it takes this to the extremes and really, really shows what all of this means.
It's on my watch list. We've just been very busy. And even when I'm not busy working, I'm busy trying to get this place put together.
I understand. So because of this, the only power that the workers have is if they band together and they threaten to stop working. Because if they stop working, then the company can't eat money. And so the purpose of unions is to gather the workers into a collective and to bargain as a collective unit. It's called collective bargaining. And
wow, insightful.
And so when a handful of people say, well, I don't want to be part of the union, I want to work, and I don't care how much the corporation shits on me, then it dilutes the power of the union. And so the members of the union are going to say, please don't do that. Oh, you're hurting all of us by doing that. And so it's rare and it's frowned upon, and it does happen, and those people are generally ostracized. And you can argue about whether or not it's a good thing that they're ostracized, but that's the thing that happens.
The only reason I ask is because I'm not a confrontational person in a serious sense. Like I'll joke with the people next to me on the airplane, or make comments, to strangers, and then we all laugh about it. So like confrontation in that sense is different than like a professional or, even a personal relationship. So the reason I ask is because I would be one of those people that's like, I'm not getting in the middle of it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but as an employee, you are in the middle of it. And you may find that the aversion to confrontation would have you joining the strike more than crossing the picket line, because the confrontation is going to happen at the picket line. That's where the confrontation is going to be.
Hopefully.
Your boss is probably also an employee, right? I mean, under most circumstances at a larger company, your boss would also be an employee. In fact, I'm an employee.
For who?
You run the payroll. You know who my employer is.
It's always so funny because people are like, "Oh, you're the assistant. So like, who does the HR stuff?" And I was like, "Me." "Oh, well, who does the social media stuff?" "Me and Ricky." "Oh, well, who does the?" I'm like, I'm literally everything. We just had to like slap a title on it,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, also, that matches your qualifications, and you do the AA stuff.
You
Ricky
said
doesn't
do.
Yeah. Ricky does very little of that. So
she's got the creative, collaborative. Also, she's in person, so I feel like that helps a lot to do all of that. And I don't have that. Je ne sais quoi, if you will.
You have different je ne sais
quoi. So it's the best of both worlds, having the two of us. Yes. So with that being said, hopefully I never get put in a situation where I would have to strike. Or oppose the people striking.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I certainly hope that for everybody. I don't think that's good for anybody. And certainly in this case, it's going to shut down the entire industry. I mean, even the people who are not members of those two unions, the special effects people, the people who work on the set, the gaffers, the production assistants, the the caterers, the company that rents out props, the drivers, the on-set medical staff, the intimacy coordinators, all these people. That's like a thing these days, is an intimacy coordinator. Whenever
Yes,
there's,
I have
yeah,
heard of that.
yeah, all these people are going to be out of work. And literally the entire town of Hollywood, and a lot of Vancouver and Ontario and Atlanta and places where they do these productions. There's going to be a lot of people out of work. And a lot of pressure on the studios to come to the bargaining table in good faith, which they have not done yet. Yeah. So that's the big news from today. There was another little thing, and I'm going to try to find it real quick because it is right down here someplace.
Speaking of Jeopardy.
Yeah. Yeah. Deep sea mining. There's an article I ran across that deep sea mining has been banned internationally for a long time, and yet there's all kinds of minerals down there that people need, and so that may be resumed soon. And there's a piece on Twitter. You can search for it on Twitter. Computer security would be about 80% solved if we just deprecated every technology shown in this graphic. And it's a lot of stuff that we use every day. So that ain't gonna happen. And then there's this. This is the piece that I was looking for. People are very worried about losing their jobs to AI, especially programmers. Programmers are very worried that AI is going to take over their jobs, and they're worried about the wrong thing. And I like this article. This is on
What
O'Reilly.
should they be worried about?
Well, the article's on O'Reilly.com, and it's titled "Fearing the Wrong Thing." And when they interviewed programmers and coders and developers, they found that the time that they spend actually writing code is somewhere between 10 and 15% of the amount of time they spend on their jobs. The rest of their time is spent designing the systems, reviewing code, correcting code, debugging, a lot of other stuff, all of which will still be there if AI starts writing the code. What they should be doing, rather than getting all worried, because those programming jobs are not going away. As much as a few companies, and we talked about this, a few companies would like to be able to just, speak into, say, hey Siri, write me a program that does this thing, and I'll make $1 million. And that ain't never gonna happen. At least not in our life.
Gonna happen.
At least not in our lifetime. In Star Trek world, 300 years from now, perhaps, but not in our lifetime. But instead, we should be very much learning how to write good prompts to our AI for how to write the piece of code that we need. And then we take that piece of code, we edit it, we put it into the system, we debug it, we review it very carefully, we debug it. That, because writing good prompts is all of, that is how all of this, this generative AI stuff works. So, we should be thinking more about that.
I like it.
Yeah. So I like that article. Those of you in our audience who are, who are programmers and who are worried about AI, this is a really, really good, important read. I'll have the kids post this on my social media.
The kiddos.
The kiddos. I mean, that's what y'all are. You're both under 30.
I'm a grown woman.
Yeah,
With
I
my
know.
pigtails.
Yeah.
Take me seriously.
Yeah. Let me know when you've got this much hair.
I hope that never happens.
And it starts turning these shades.
I've used the bald filter on myself before, thinking that maybe I could pull it off like a little Britney 2007 moment. I can't. I cannot.
Ricky 2007. Wait a minute.
Britney.
Oh, Britney.
Cheers.
Britney 2000. That was a mental breakdown.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's me every day. I have those daily minty bees.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I had a girlfriend once who kept jokingly threatening to shave all her hair off, and like watching my reaction and me like, trying to be supportive, and she's just kidding around. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll send this link to you and you can post it. All right,
on
great.
the socials.
Yeah, great. Hey, y'all, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning, same bat time, same bat channel. I'm going to go take a nap. Have a great day. Love you all. Bye.